Klein is up to his elbows in blood, eyes flaring defiantly. I've examined the filth inside and out. The innards are a genetic nightmare. It's a bag of corruption wrapped in human skin, extra organ skills, atrophied ingrown limbs, but that's not what's important. The body was disfigured posthumously. They killed the mutant with a surgical precision before opening his throat, draining his blood. It wasn't until after the actual murder that they crushed his head and tried to cover up his wounds. The wounds were so brutal, I almost missed his work tattoo. The victim was a pipe warden, and I found this in his throat. He presents a blood-stained raven feather. A certain legend springs to your mind, one involving Saint Quirine, who was granted a portent of enemies hiding among the faithful. When Quirine prayed to the Emperor for a sign that might reveal the traitor, a raven's feather burst out of her mouth to inscribe the name of the conspirators. Only someone versed in the symbology of the Imperium could have left the message. Anybody, could this be a sign? Vile mutants do not make allusions to saints. This was someone versed in the creed. For what purpose was the corpse mutilated? Someone wanted to hide the cause of death? What I fail to understand is why they'd even leave the body out in the open instead of disposing of it. It's imperative we find whoever mutilated. What tattoo? Do pipe wardens have anything to do with it? Pipe wardens are a worker clan that service the ship's sewer systems. The tattoo indicates the worker's status and personal number. This one was SP-246-01, senior pipe warden. Klein, here's a gift of MSEC for you, because you look like you need it. He accepts the glass and downs it instantly. Evidently, he is in no state to savor the bouquet and taste the fine drink you've offered him. It is imperative we find out whoever mutilated the body. I concur. Would you like to give us specific instructions? Specifics are merely in flexible thinking. Follow your heart. We can say, like, what kind of advice is that? We need to find the weapon or object. One cannot disfigure a body like that and stay clean. Look for bloodstained garments, rags, or the like. Look for a lunatic. No, one cannot disfigure a body like that and stay clean unless they already burnt everything. Follow your heart. No, Tess, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Eyebrow twitches nervously. Follow my heart. But of course, I should have thought of that myself, Lord Captain. Thank you for your counsel. At least something useful on your second attempt? As Klein bows his head guiltily, Sarback mutters, her gaze to him. Rest assured, Lord Captain, disciplinary measures will be applied. No, I don't want that. We should run victim's identification number through the master work log cogitator. The machine spirit favors us. We'll be able to narrow down the number of suspects. Okay. We're getting this, y'all. Ginevra approaches you, followed by a dignified woman in crimson robe. Allow me to introduce esteemed tech priest Andromeda Phi. She believes she has the right to obstruct the investigation and refuse to grant the enforcers access. I request the laywoman's willful activities be halted. She intended to torment the machine spirit of the masterwork cogitator Iota-IIB. The venerable spirit is ill and in no disposition of such abuse. What is the problem? The spirit is old and quick to anger, therefore calls for a sensitive approach, not a torturous intrusion by a brutish laywoman. Since the start of this watch, the spirit has been unwell, so we've been trying to soothe its woes by applying sacred unguents and sensing the great machine's boards. The dogma of data recuperative quarantine prohibits any disturbance to the blessed machines found to be in such a state. What exactly does this data recuperative dogma prescribe? Let no profane hand touch the sacred machine stricken. Let the mechanism be shielded from all worldly troubles by a veil of righteous litany, and let its shrine be thricely honored till the malady is no more. There we go. Judging by Ginevra's expression, she would rather have her profane hands touch Andromeda Phi's neck. Let's see. So I can do this. Lay people may be prohibited from communing with the machine spirit, but you are not esteemed tech priest. Ginevra will merely stand by your side and observe. Andromeda Phi shoots Ginevra a sidelong glance. Very well. I shall disturb the spirit, but I demand that the laywoman show respect and do as she's told. Y'all, being the rogue traitor, there's so much to it. Raising her hand high, Andromeda Phi wails, Omnissiah, preserve us! The Great Spirit was infected by a layperson! That is the culprit you should be searching for, not some pipe warden. Sacrilege. Oh, we have discovered that the cogitator's malfunctions began angered the machine spirit in order to bury the work logs. Thankfully, the esteemed tech priest was able to appease the spirit and extract the information. The victim's name was Ordo. On the day he died, he was servicing valve 27-B, which supplies water to the rogue trader's bath chamber. He also had a partner who has yet to appear for duty since the incident. We have a suspect. One of the Inferni said he had his pass to the maintenance room taken away by an enforcer. Our villain? How did they get past Ginevre's guards unnoticed? We should find out if the shift change took place without incident. If the culprit truly is an enforcer or pretending to be one, he could have orchestrated a gap between the guard shifts. Did the murderer get to the cogitator too? Impossible. Since the start of the watch, this area has been used as a center of operations. No rabble could have slipped by unnoticed. Moreover, a common pipe warden wouldn't know how to commune with a machine spirit. The murderer had help. So who's the partner? Senior pipe warden Gwendon, number SP-268-55, an 8th generation pipe warden. No registered infractions, excellent discipline, perfect work record, exemplary servant in the Imperium. How do you propose we find our suspect? Before Sarbak can respond, Hrotko cuts in. Your ladyship, there was a man named Gwendon among the rabble waiting to be interrogated. He immediately struck me as suspicious. Allow me to question the man in your presence. Sarbak narrows her eyes, but she says, bring him in, now. Before you stands a gaunt man in work clothes. His face is swollen from the bruise and several of his fingers are broken, sticking out at odd angles. He stares vacantly into the distance. Start talking, you miserable wretch. You tried to kill the Lord Captain, didn't you? He grabs the worker by the lapels. Gwendon's coat flies open, revealing crude occult symbols painted all over his body. What's this? Heretical brands? Cultist scum? Gwendon yells, bearing what remains of his teeth. Yes, it was me. I tried to put a curse on the Lord Captain. I killed my partner in a wicked ritual, rubbed elbows with them daemons, consorted with him, all to carry out a dark plot and doom the Lord Captain for the glory of my almighty master. He bursts into a fit of hysterical, theatrical cackling. We have ourselves a model cultist here. There's a ritual, a curse, and a plot. He even consorted with them daemons. How kind of him to confess all of that immediately. He has admitted to everything vermin. Everything the vermin. I have insisted time and again that the assassination attempt was carried out by one of Voigtvir's surviving henchmen, and I was right. I guess we weren't so thorough in clearing them out as we thought. Assess the enforcer's reaction. Hrotko looks proud and self-important. Ginevre is biting her nails as if hesitant to say anything. Sarbak is observing the workers in silence, apparently sunk deep in thought. Meanwhile, Klein merely stands still with a distrustful grimace on his face. Other than Hrotko, no one here seems to believe that you are looking at the real culprit. Does the Master at Arms not find it strange that the suspect is so eager to paint himself as a heretic, and in such a preposterous fashion, no less? I agree, Lord Captain. Sarbak growls at the worker. I want the truth. Who are you? Who told you to give us this pathetic confession? The man blanches and starts bawling. He gives up his sinister theatrics and babbles in a voice of a common worker. Forgive me, your ladyship. I am not Gwendon. I'm not a heretic. Yart's me name. I'm a laundryman. Please have mercy. They took my family. That enforcer said she'd throw them out the airlock if I don't confess. She made me draw these unholy symbols on myself. Ablar cast a significant glance at Sarbak's direction. Your enforcers have a knack for persuasion, Mistress Sarbak. This is ridiculous. What enforcer name? Give me your name. Ginevre. Her name is Ginevre. What? I have not. Ginevre? We will deal with her later. I'll handle the search for Gwendon myself. Captain, would you have us execute this daemon worshipper? Hold on. He's lied to us more than once, and maybe he's lying to us still. Ginevre, do you have anything to say? I have never threatened his family. I certainly did not force him to lie and draw heretical symbols. I barely even remember his face. I may have interrogated him beforehand, but it was someone else who put him up to this. And yet he knows your name and pointed you out right away. Do you not find that funny? Do you not find it funny that your head is always up your ass? It's obvious that someone framed her. Cease this bickering. Lord Captain, what we have here is a liar, a well-coached one at that. He'll never confess on his own. What do you suggest we do? Pensively take an... Oh my gosh. What is this? Faith changes people. Take a book of Psalms and read it to him until he confesses. Pensively take an appetite. Girl, Girl, we're not here for snacks. I mean, you could be here for snacks right now if you really want to be. I refuse to believe that there is not one single person who saw them being manhandled. Find those witnesses. We need to change our approach. Bandage his wounds, give him food. He'll confess. No. Find the witnesses. That makes sense. You cannot beat a man half to death without everyone in the compartment getting wind of such a scene. We'll look into it. And what do you want us to do with him when we're done? Spare the man, wash off those heretical symbols, let him rejoin his family. Yeah. It'll be done. There's no cause for alarm. This conspirator may have been fake, but now it's only a matter of time before we find the real culprit. We have the pipe warden's name and identification numbers. We know which clan they're from. We'll keep pressing the riffraff until either the culprit confesses or someone turns him in. I'll handle this. Please enjoy your meal in the interim. The scoundrel will appear before soon enough. Conclude the... Oh. Lord Captain, the real pipe warden, Gwendon, has been found and is being escorted here as we speak. Are there any remaining questions you wish to address before we hear from him? Results. Report the rest. Absolutely. We have thoroughly questioned all detainees known to have a violent temper and compared the tools and weapons we seized with the wounds found on the corpse, but we have not been able to establish who was responsible for the mutilation. I take full responsibility. We found witnesses to the battery of our false conspirator. According to them, an enforcer in a helmet came to detain Yart. Spoke to him, gave him a beating so thorough that a ring came off their finger. Alas, said ring could not be recovered. This concludes my report. Someone attempted to mislead our investigation. We cannot let this go without consequence. Undoubtedly, let us go over the facts. The body of the deceased was mutilated after death. It is likely that the nature of the injuries would have proven very useful in the investigation and that the perpetrator concealed them for that very reason. Someone sabotaged a work log cogitator, so it would be harder for us to find the victim's partner, who might have information valuable to the investigation. Instead of the murdered man's partner, we were given a fool, one who thoroughly incriminated himself first before admitting that Captain Ginevri put him up to it. Who was guarding the body? It was Ginevri. I relieved her when I came in to inspect the corpse, which by then had already been cut up. Ginevri nervously adjusts her armor. The corpse was already looking like that when it came under my purview, but I could not get the name of the officer who discovered it. The deck was such a mess that I decided I would deal with it later. Who had access to the cogitator? The tech priests do not let anyone near it. They even tried to prevent the enforcer investigation. Ginevri, you were there the entire time? Yes, ma'am, since the start of the watch. I went there right after I handed the body to Klein. The only time I stepped away was to retrieve the data slate from my quarters. I left a watchman, but he went missing. Most likely one of the officers did not realize he was on duty and sent him off on some errand, but I was only gone a few minutes. Very convenient. Missing sentry, data slate misplaced against regulations. I don't understand how I could have forgotten it. I always check my gear when I go off duty. One of the Inferni complained that the enforcer had taken away his pass to the room, and it was a man. Then it wasn't her, just one of her accomplices. Will you give us a name? Shut your mouth! Nothing has been proven yet. Suspect Yart claims that you coerced him into lying about himself. What do you have to say? I may have conducted his preliminary interrogation like so many others. Hrotko requested my assistance because of my experience in dealing with rabble, but I swear there was no truth to these accusations. I've never threatened his family, and I certainly didn't force him to lie and draw heretical signs. I barely even remember his face. I may have interrogated him beforehand, but it was someone else who put him up to this. The transcript says you conducted Yart's interrogation alone. Because I can handle a single laundryman? She raises her chin proudly. Yart being knocked around wearing a ring. Let me see your hands. The enforcer takes off her gloves. Not one of them is wearing a ring. However, you find a small mark on Hrotko's little finger, as if he's been wearing some sort of band for a long time. Are you no longer wearing your family ring? Klein gives him a bloodthirsty scowl. Not on duty, certainly not in compartments full of detained rabble. Is this all you're doing, is it not? Sarbak draws her auto pistol and points at Hrotko, who appears entirely unperturbed. I'll give you one chance to retain your last shred of honor and confess you sabotaged the investigation. Why? Is it not obvious? To expose the conspiracy myself and to prove your incompetence to her ladyship. To take the place I actually deserve. For years, I toiled for the good of the dynasty. But when the former Master-at-Arms was killed, I was refused my promotion. Instead, they gave the position to you. A self-serving Sarbak nit. I guess a noble name means more than talent. When this crime occurred, I realized it was my chance to show you what I was worth. While you were busy dallying, I quickly learned the name of the suspect, diverted course of the investigation, easy enough task, and began looking for the real Gwendon. Had I found him in time, your position would have already been mine. Simply listen to yourself, and you'll understand why they made me Master at Arms. Lord Captain, I request permission to dispose of him personally. Were you really hoping you could deceive the Master at Arms and me? Your dismissive tone makes him flinch. I had every chance, but you were shrewder than I expected. My little trick with the body did work. You still don't know who was behind it all. I have already figured it out. I hid Gwendon from you by damaging the cogitator and delivering you a fake and an idiot willing to incriminate himself out of fear. I even prepared a contingency plan in case he cracks by making sure he blames someone else. Yeah, there were a couple of slip-ups, but you must admit it was a solid attempt overall. Why were you trying to frame Ginevri? Backup plan. You always need someone to blame if you make a mistake. He sounds calm, even casual. I could have framed Klein, but that young upstart was already galloping through the ranks too fast and was clearly aiming for my station. Besides, she and her thick-witted subordinates were always right there where I wanted them to be. You don't seem to fear punishment. With all due respect, your ladyship, I'm an enforcer. I've looked death in the eye, and I will accept your judgment with dignity. For your crimes, sabotage, slander, and heresy, I condemn you to death. Master at Arms, carry out your sentence. You're a liar and a blackguard, but I commend you for your intelligence. I have no need of such enforcers, but I could use another spy. You will sow confusion among my rivals. Or I'll give you a chance. You're to be demoted and to become an initiate at the shrine, where you will spend the rest of your days. No. I mean, honestly? Okay, listen. Yes, death is a great idea, but at the same time, you will gain... What is this? Oh, yeah. But here's the thing. I feel like Tess tries to be as shrewd as possible. Yes, his death would be satisfying because he is a conniving little shit. Like, nobody is here to disagree with that. But being able to turn him into a spy and so, like, chaos among my enemies? Oh, that sounds great. That sounds like a great use for him because he's good at what he does. Like, there's no reason to kill him outright if we can use him. His lips stretch into a thin smile. Thank you for your high praise. I'm grateful to have had this opportunity to prove myself to you under unusual circumstances. You're right, because I said you're a liar, but I commend you for your intelligence. Because, like, it was good. It was good. Like, you got to take what you can. That takes care of the traitor. Now let us proceed with the interrogating the pipe warden. The pipe warden does his best to remain reverently bowed, which paints a rather comical picture given his formidable height and complexion. He lowers his head, tugging at his beard. Senior Pipe Warden Gwendon, honored to serve, Lord Captain. I'm ready to confess everything. So you are the real Pipe Warden Gwendon, correct? I am. I am proud of it, Lord Captain. A Pipe Warden craft is hard work, but necessary. My number SP-268-55. My work partner was the late Ordo, number SP-246-01. I oversee the water supply and systems on the upper deck. Sectors A-3, K-8, R-2. That includes valve 27-B. There can be no mistake. I have verified his identity. All has been confirmed. Why did you fill my bathtub with blood? I did as the blood spinner commanded. She said the Emperor gave the first spinner a sign that your ladyship should be bathed in the blood of poor Ordo, my partner, and I, well, the servants of death are terrifying, so I obeyed. The first spinner? Are you talking about the vizier, the bloodspin web? Yeah, that's him. He leads the death cult, the lot who worship the Emperor by killing. His spinners hunt down the heretics, but sometimes they take righteous lives too. Their service is mysterious, fervent, and bloody. If the vizier ordered it, there must have been a reason. The Undying Ones must have revealed something to him that we are ignorant of. Enric blows a stream of smoke in the Sarbak's direction. What a shocking turn of events. The Inferni are innocent. Who could have seen that coming? Could it be that you were wrong to brutalize and humiliate my people? I do not expect an apology from me. I was doing my duty. You can play the victim all you want, but I haven't forgotten the circumstances under which your blasted clan came to be on the ship. Consider every strike upon your backs a reminder of that event. What is this? What are you meaning by this? A story of days long past, one that Mistress Sarbak greatly enjoys reminiscing about as if she were there herself. My ancestors committed a trespass against your ancestors and were made Inferni as punishment. I'll be sure to tell you this tale some other time. I must concede as much, Lord Captain. The story can wait. We should first find out why the blood-spun web thought to bathe you in repugnant blood, yes. Did you kill your mutant partner? I didn't kill him. I don't know. I didn't know he was a mutant. Ordo and I had always gotten along, even if he wasn't much for talking. But then the blood spinner came from the darkness, ended him quickly but harshly. She bled him dry, put a black feather in his throat. She told me to pump blood into the pipes, and then she left. I wanted to confess, but I was afraid she'd come for me too if I did. Summon the vizier, the blood spun. The vizier has crossed a line. Yeah, I wish to hear his explanation. As you wish. Can he actually come here? I thought he couldn't come here. He can. Vizier, the blood-spun web, treads lightly and silently, as if his old gaunt body has no weight. He whispers weakly, Dom and Tessera willed to see me, so I have come. I have summoned you to discuss the actions of the apprentices. Let their deeds be weighed. Investigation has established blood-spun web orchestrated an attack on his lordship by means of pouring unholy blood into her bath. This affront. The old man murmur drowns out Sarabak's relentless voice. Dom and Tessera knows the truth. So it was done, for so I did will. It was not an affront, but a prophecy. From my hands to divine, unsullied martyrs offered their souls and bodies to his imperishable embrace. I gazed into the red rivers of their smoldering lives, and I did see a rolling unclean staining the bays, reaching for the anointed lady of the ark. In my apprentice's last sights, I heard the undying one's whisper. He bid me bathe the dominant blood of he who must go, and they have been righteous for this will shield the dominant and strengthen her body against the roiling unclean. I obeyed. The man you killed, who was he? I know not. I only heard the name, and I knew he must go. Yes, we need no more knowledge than that. What do you mean by the unclean? He did not reveal, but it is corruption itself. It offends him. It tastes as sweet as fetid water in old pipes. It promises are the deception of the enforcer's smile. Huh, its face is elusive. Do you claim that you did this because the God Emperor willed so? I speak, move, and draw breath because he wills it. Wills so. I defy not the undying one, neither in death that gifts nor takes in living existence. Could your vision... Cabela, did you know? When I saw the wounds made by the hand of a fellow believer, I guessed, but the vizier chose not to warn you, and so it was not my place to do so either. If there had been a plot against you, a knife aimed at you, I would have given you some sign, but the vizier means you no harm. He is your servant. Where your other subject's threads are clear and straight, his lie in shadows and hints and secrets. I trust him as I do. Could your vision have been false? His lips curl into a smile. I held the card of his tarot. Washed in the blood of the righteous, they make no mistakes, and neither does he send false visions. Only mortals err. Who they read the signs, who they interpret. The situation is clear. The Emperor... Oh, she makes the sign of the Aquila. Emperor has sent us a portent. Protector of mankind, guides the hand of his holy servants, guards us, and warns us of hidden threats. God Emperor, I thank thee for protecting us, even though there are instruments of your protection, whose purity and holiness I may never understand. Tessera, regardless of how regularly you kneel before an altar, I advise you to take this warning seriously. If I am correct in my suspicion about what is transpiring here, and I pray to the throne I am not, you can indeed consider this incident a sign that the Emperor is watching over you in this ship. Why so cryptic, Heinrich? If you have theories, tell me. My theories are classified information and the Inquisition that I cannot divulge without good reason. If evidence comes to light that confirms my fears, I will disclose everything necessary. However, my concern is baseless. I do not wish to share knowledge dangerous to you without cause. Could it be a coincidence that the victim is a genetic aberration? The officers around you keep a respectful silence, but you can tell by their faint smiles that they find the very idea of doubting the Emperor's providence absurd. I know, but I had to ask. I will not have... No, the cult of the Bloodspun Web will face no persecution for their deed. The vizier freezes, listening in silence. Yes, I will tell her. We are seeds in your hands, giver of life. Whether you keep us or scatter us, we will remain grateful. Be that as it may, we have hit a dead end. We hoped that the exposing culprit would lead us to the aberration's lair. Let the Bloodspun Web find the mutants. Sarbak investigation must continue. I may be overestimating the scale of the problem. No. But no spinner or brave warrior from the Damon's circle can find the roots of the unclean, for it can appear as human and act as human. Only its thoughts betray the vile nature. Only its thoughts are never human. Wise, anxious silence falls moments. Wait, is it unclean thoughts we need to find? Zachary, remember him? Very well, let Wise find them. He knows, no matter how badly he wishes that the rest of us forget about it. Zachary is a fearsome hunter. When he hunts, the flagship wails. When he thinks, that my teeth creak. I can feel pain as if I am young again, but his power is great indeed. He can hunt down our prey. It seems that not everyone here is eager to leave this matter to him. Is that true? I would say the one least eager will be Master Wise himself. Last time, his efforts caused some severe warp manifestations. Not to put it too fine a point on it, Wise nearly destroyed the ship back then. Incidentally, he had given us multiple warnings that could happen. Lady Theodora ignored him. We reaped the results. Ugh, why do I get the feeling that I know what will happen next? Okay. How can he be useful? The esteemed Zachary can perform rituals of thought reading. This practice lets him do a cursory examination of the minds of thousands of people in search of a certain individual. A ritual as rare as it is dangerous. Only someone as versed as Master Wise can accomplish the feat. All right, that is all. Your duty is done. I give you leave to wrap up the investigation. My duty is done when the threat is eliminated. I'll brief the enforcers while you consult the choir master. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. What kind of shit have we found ourselves in now? Like, it just never ends. Like, poor Tess cannot catch a break. My poor daughter. I feel bad for her. But at the same time, the story is incredible. Like, literally, you could have, like, let that other guy stay. You could have... Oh, man. Yeah, it's all so good. Like, I did not see some of this coming. And I like it that Mars, I was like the only companion to have words to say, but earlier, which was interesting. Okay, so now I must go talk to the choir master. Okay, so that is 100% the next thing that we are doing, is talking to the choir master. Emperor, help us all.